Hi, Tom Brown here with Gates of Graceland, another installment. And as you can probably tell, I'm inside Graceland in the music room here in front of the piano and the television downstairs, standing on the white carpet. And this was going to be a special edition of Gates of Graceland because we came up with a great idea. We thought there's some great stories about the mansion and things in the mansion, and we've covered a lot. We've looked at a lot of hidden things with Angie Marchese, director of archives, items inside cabinets and inside drawers. We thought, I bet there's some other stories that we would love to hear. And we thought, well, why not talk to someone who actually was here before in this mansion and is here again, once again, from Memphis, Jerry Schilling. Great to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Tom.
Welcome back home.
It's good to be here.
Welcome back home. This is a very special place for you. And you always told me that there's just something about being in the mansion, and we're here late at night after all the tours have left and the ropes are down and we're standing on Elvis's white carpet.
I know.
And you're back home. You lived here.
This was the first place I ever felt really at home. When I moved into here and downstairs.
Right.
Just went down to my room.
Yeah, everything okay down there?
You know, speaking of secrets at Graceland that people don't know about, there's 2 bedrooms you can't go into at Graceland.
Right. Well, Elvis
is upstairs here, and mine downstairs.
And Jerry Schilling's downstairs.
And if you walked into it, you would understand for 2 different reasons. Mine was the storage room for the Christmas decorations, and it looked like it.
Yeah, well, but it was your home. It was one of your first places
the
like that that you said you felt.
Most wonderful place I ever lived.
Yeah.
You know, I felt safe. I loved it. It was home.
Yeah.
And it feels like it still.
And here we are in the living room. As I look at the long white couch, and when the fans come in, they're right over there, and they look into this room and they imagine the things that, you know, the happenings that happen in here, all the people probably in here waiting for Elvis to come down those stairs. And
I've done it many times.
and begin the adventure for that night.
Yeah.
Right?
A lot of karate in here. You know, we can't sit on the couches and stuff now for obvious reasons. We used to use these pillows for Elvis to do his karate kicks on. I mean, you know. So
here in the main
living room. Yeah. When he came back from Germany, and the first time I came back up, and I hadn't seen Elvis in 2 years. I didn't know if they'd even let me back up. I'm still in high school, right? This was before. It was right here. So,
but that was kind of Elvis's welcome back to the room.
I knew I was back in.
Yeah.
I knew I was, you know, you didn't have to do any formalities. You know, we just did karate. And
well, it's so great to have you back here. We're going to go over and find a spot over there, and I want to hear some more Elvis stories about this house.
Okay, morning, guys. Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. Welcome. So, I'm cold again. England is cold. So welcome. How is everyone? I did message a load of you. I'm not sure what's going on with YouTube. At the moment, the notifications have been terrible. That no one's getting the notifications. So the last 3-4 live streams we've done, almost no one is getting notifications. I have no idea why. So a lot of you are watching these videos, these live streams later. So I wanted to do a bit of a hi Karen. I wanted to do a bit of a Jerry Schilling live stream. We are also going to do Ayisa's quiz book, and I might read a bit more of Lamar's book. So we're going to do a few things on this live stream. I'm not sure how long I've got. It's all to do with the kids. So we've just watched a film together, me and the kids. We just watched Die Hard 2. And last night we watched Die Hard 1. We also watched Blue Hawaii yesterday as well, because obviously BBC Two are had an amazing day yesterday. It was an Elvis day on BBC Two. A lot of you have messaged me about that. Obviously Jailhouse Rock was on. They had the '68 comeback show was on. So it was a great day for an Elvis fan on BBC Two, England. So let's just see who we got here. There we are. So my wife was out last night with her friend. She was celebrating her friend's 40th birthday in Bath, UK. They stayed in a hotel. So she just messaged me. They're having breakfast. So she's going to be gone for a few hours. But the kids are happy. Right, let's just, so guys, can you just double check in? Can you all hear me okay? Because some of you will have voice problems, but nothing to do with me. It'll be on your end. So, right, can anyone else hear the voice thing? Because I can restart. I don't want to carry on unless, if you're not, right, Denise, can you hear me okay? Because I can just restart it. It's fine. Yeah, it should be okay. There's no reason for it not to be okay, unless it's me leaning back and leaning forward. So, what we're gonna do, yeah. So you all get Jane, Ayisa, Debbie, Karen, Lorna. You can all hear me. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna carry on listening to the rest of this because I also want to introduce some of this book. I'm not gonna read the book. I want to just talk about it a little bit, get a feel for Jerry's book. This was sent to me by Ayisa. So I thought, why not? I've heard good things about this book. Have any of you guys read this book? Me and a guy named Elvis. I've heard good things. I mean, my feelings about Jerry are pretty positive. I like Jerry. He's one of the better members of the Memphis Mafia, but I do have issues with him when it comes to Priscilla. I do think he was way too close to Priscilla, has always been too close to Priscilla. Now, unfortunately for all of the Memphis Mafia, they all had to kiss Priscilla's ass to get what they want, to be able to do interviews, write their books, do biographies, documentaries, be involved in other people's biographies. So I am a bit like that with Jerry's friendship with Priscilla. Obviously, we know that Lisa really trusted Jerry. So do any of you guys think stuff went on between Jerry and Priscilla? It's possible, isn't it, guys? Obviously, I think Jerry was 14 when he met Elvis. I know that Jerry definitely, loved Elvis, 100%. Yeah. And we know Elvis bought Jerry a home, and Jerry still lives there now. Jerry had his own career. He managed the Beach Boys, for example. A very smart man, a good-looking man, very popular, still speaks very highly of Elvis. So it's complicated, guys. It's complicated. Now, do we think Jerry crossed the line with Priscilla? I think it's possible. Yeah. Jerry had a crush on Priscilla. I've heard him talk about this. So, hi, Josie. How are you? So he is one of the guys that I think, do you know what? You made some mistakes, but his book, I've heard, is very kind to Elvis. Very kind. It's not a trash Elvis book. And I've heard that from you guys. And I just think, we give him a pass. We give him a pass, yeah? So let's watch a bit of this Graceland interview. And then we're going to quickly discuss Ayisa's book that she sent us. Thank you, Ayisa. And then we're going to have a bit of fun with the questions and answers of Lamar's book and the quiz book. So probably going to be here a while. I'm not sure. It all depends on how noisy the kids get. Okay. Right. Let's just. So I haven't actually watched all of this. It's not that long. I've only watched about half of this. Let's get it up. We need some volume. Hang on a minute, guys. So, these Graceland videos, I actually think they're really good. Yeah, I'm not.
We found a pretty comfortable spot here in Graceland to relax and have a conversation right here on the stairway to upstairs.
Feels like the old days.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting for me being here at this time of night in the mansion and just us here talking about Elvis. But for you, what's it like for you to come back in the mansion, not only at a time like this, but you've brought friends through the mansion before on tours, with fans when the stanchions are up, and it's a museum and a place of artifacts. But at a time like this, it's back into being a home.
Well, it reminds me of living here in the peacefulness of Graceland, the safety of Graceland. This was the most peaceful, safest place I ever lived in my life, and it still has that feel. Everything here is like it was when we lived here, and it's just a very special feeling, and it's the most home feeling I've had.
Yeah.
You know.
And this town too. I mean, because you are from Memphis, grew up in Memphis, and have family here still today.
Yes.
And I always wondered for friends of Elvis like that come back to inside Graceland, if every time you come in, you're afraid of losing a little bit of that memory of what it was really like when he was here.
You know, it's actually worked the opposite. I think because it has been kept so much as it was when we all lived here. Even driving up the driveway, I get a very special feeling. All the times I've driven up that driveway, I've driven Elvis's Rolls Royce and his limousines and stuff, and it was just a normal thing. I'd get up and, you know what, I'd take the car, and I had Elvis's credit card, and I'll go to the car wash, and I'd drive down the gate, and down to the gate, and act like I was so cool, like it was no big deal. I'm thinking, boy, this is cool.
Amazing.
And,
It's interesting to hear you say that, because all of us fans imagine what we would have been like around Elvis, and if we could have been one of those chosen few guys that had gotten to kind of be here and hang out. And it's interesting.
I fully agree with what he's just said. It's a great interview. I think he really does speak from the heart, So I'm just quickly telling Linda that we're live, because I always forget and I just remembered. So let's carry on listening to it.
The previous episodes of Gates, we've walked around the house and we've talked about, the other people that were here, because Elvis wasn't here alone. Elvis had his grandmother, and his dad was here for a while. His mom was here with the family. I mean, it was always a family home. Lisa and Priscilla lived here. I mean, it was always a family home, and that I think still is here.
Well, I was telling some friends tonight.
So I want to comment. So obviously we are called Defending Elvis Presley. Yeah. Now he says it was always a family home. I do think there was a period where it was a lovely family home, but it isn't as simple as that. Now, I know Gracelands like to give off a front that everything was perfect, everything was great, it was all happy days. They definitely don't want to discuss anything to do with defending Elvis. 100%, I would say that they're not interested in anything we do here. Yeah. So we are defending Elvis. We want the truth. We defend Lisa. We defend the bloodline. We defend Riley, Finley, and Harper. We defend as fans. Yeah. But he talks about almost the perfect life in Graceland. But it isn't. I wish it was that straightforward. It wasn't so straightforward. There were problems from the start. Obviously, Paul Gladys died way too young. Then Elvis is drawn into the army for a couple of years. Obviously, during that time, he loses his lovely mother. So it wasn't straightforward, guys, because Priscilla moves over in around 63. But Elvis is still living as a single man for a good 3 years. He sees different people. He sees different co-stars. It isn't so rosy. Then you've got a 66. We know that Elvis decides under pressure that he wants to get married. Doesn't really want to get married, but under pressure he does. They very quickly have Lisa Marie and get married, a very public marriage and birth. And then we know that in 68, in March, we know that Priscilla was unfaithful with Steve Peck, the dance instructor, which she's admitted in her book. She calls him Mark. It's page 262. This is my point, guys. It wasn't the perfect fairy tale that he tries to describe there. He sort of goes, oh, it was very much a family place. This is Graceland's trying to portray this perfect image. for the business. Graceland's is a business. It's there to make money. Once Elvis Presley Enterprises was sold, it all became about money. And I know that many of you now feel that Graceland has become too much about money. The entry fee is very high now. We've also got the VIP tours, very expensive. So it's all become money orientated. It's a business. There's a management team of people running Elvis Presley Enterprises that also rent Graceland. We know that Riley has a 15% stake with the twins of Elvis Presley Enterprises. She owns the building. She, you know, the freehold we call it in England. But the truth is, it's all become about the money, hasn't it, guys? Yeah. Do we at least accept that Graceland's and EPE now is all about the money? So the thing we try to do here is show more of the truth, because we don't think it's right. This is my little speech for the day. I don't think it's right that everything has to be portrayed as being perfect. I know lately, is it Songbird? A few of you have been all sending me the vandalism, yeah, the vandalism on Elvis's name, yeah, calling him names, yeah, calling him a racist, which is bullshit. We all know he's not a racist. It's just there's a lot of hate out there. There's a lot of very cruel people, very nasty people. The least racist person on the planet is Elvis. I don't even have to go into it, do I, guys? Because we all know, the world knows Elvis wasn't racist. You get the haters call him a racist. There's a lot of jealousy out there, yeah? So my point is this. No, it wasn't perfect at Graceland. And when Priscilla was unfaithful with Steve Pett, the dance instructor, there wasn't a lovely, perfect home. There would have been uproar. Does anyone agree with that, guys? There would have been uproar. Now, people like Jerry Schilling, they try to avoid the topic of Priscilla's unfaithfulness. Yeah? Remember, unfaithful when Lisa Marie was a baby, a few months old. Could you imagine the hell that put Elvis through? The nightmare he lived through, discovering that the wife that he'd married 10 months earlier, he fulfilled all his obligations and promises, was unfaithful. So no, it wasn't the perfect family. So I don't want to be too insulting to that gentleman, but Jerry and I forget his name now, it's gone from my head, are trying to portray a perfect picture of Elvis. It wasn't perfect. Elvis was a victim. Elvis was mistreated. Priscilla was cruel to Elvis, very cruel. Cruel to Lisa, because Lisa was the baby when she was up to no good. So let's keep watching it. And remember, we are being critical with the review. It's a review. This isn't let's go along with things. This isn't let's all agree with what they're saying. This is let's try and get to the truth. Defending Elvis, defending Lisa. Okay, guys?
Right there. We would watch the TV in the dining room. We'd watch Johnny Carson's monologue, have dinner while it was on. We would laugh, have a great time. Somebody was going to get the films for the all-night screenings. We'd go out to the car, get ready to go, and Elvis said, wait a minute. And he would always come back in and go in and talk to Grandma. 20 minutes, wow, whatever. So the house really had a family feel about it. I would get up in the mornings, which was probably the afternoon, but it was my morning. And sometimes I'd be the first one up because I was still excited living here, you know. I'd go into the kitchen. Grandma would be having lunch, or I'd have breakfast, walk outside. We had a lot of fun. We had a lot of parties downstairs, you know. We didn't never take the parties up here, you know. We did some fun, like the karate things that I mentioned. But down in the pool room and the TV room, that's where Elvis would have parties. And then I'd go to my special room, you know, that people don't get to see. And in the wintertime, if it was raining, I put a plank, to walk
in your room.
In my room. And I hadn't been in that room in 30-something years. And the tour guide said, "Jerry, would you like to go in?" I said, "Are you kidding?" And the tour guide said, "It used to flood down here." And they said, "You weren't kidding." I said, "I wouldn't kid about that." I mean, you could still see the pipes, still the Christmas decorations.
And that's the thing about that. And we talked about this in the episode where we and Gates went inside and looked at it. We looked at it, and you can go down into the TV room and look at the three TVs kind of are the first thing to catch your eye, then maybe the lightning bolt, and then of course the porcelain monkey on the table catches. You can walk and stand by that door and not even really see that door, and leave the room and never know that there was a room there.
Yeah, I needed all the privacy I could get, Tom.
Exactly. Now, Jerry, we have to say something. We're sitting here on the stairs leading to upstairs, and one of the things I think a lot of the new fans of Elvis that because there are always new fans coming into the world, with all the new #1 albums and the new hotel at Graceland, the new fans are coming in.
It's a great time.
It's a fantastic time to be an Elvis fan, but a lot of the new fans are finding out the things and the legends of Elvis and the stories of Elvis, and one of them is, even today on the tour. You don't come upstairs because it was a special place when he was here, and it's still observed as being that way.
Yeah, it was his private place. I mean, we spent time up there,
sure,
of course. Yeah. And I have to say, Lisa really wanted that, to respect his privacy, but also she told me it's a piece of her father that she wants to keep to herself. Mm-hmm. She likes to go up and look at the books that are still there when he was there, that are underlined. I have had dinner here with Lisa and Priscilla.
Just quickly pause that, guys. Can I just ask you a question? Are you glad that Lisa made the decision to keep upstairs private, keep upstairs for her, for Elvis, for her father? I mean, I definitely am. I'm so pleased that upstairs is kept quiet and private, and I hope they keep it that way. Yeah, but can I ask you guys, do you think that's good? I've heard rumors that Riley is considering opening upstairs. I personally hope that upstairs is kept private. That's just my view. You tell me, guys.
And we did go up, but it's okay if Lisa and Priscilla want us to go up there. I don't know. It kind of, Elvis always had a mystique about him. You didn't know everything about him. He always had something. And I think Graceland has that with the mystique of upstairs.
Yeah, there's a little bit of magic.
A little bit of magic.
Still here that you think you want to know how the magic trick's done, but you really don't want to know. Yeah. You want to always have that mystery, and I think that is still here. As the fans come in, and we're so excited to be here, and I've seen fans walk in and you're just kind of overwhelmed, and you hear some fans say it's bigger than they thought it would be. You hear a lot of other people say it's smaller than they thought it would be. And in your mind, it just becomes this giant mansion. But really, when you do get here, it's not overwhelmingly large, and by today's standard. Yeah.
But you got to take it back. We're going back 50 years, 60 years almost. This was a big house back then.
Sure, yeah.
Especially from North Memphis, where we came from.
Right.
I mean, we lived in, looks like the Tupelo house.
Right.
Elvis had a couple of those before Lauderdale Courts, and I lived in one across the street from George Klein on Leith Street. So it may look, if you really want to dissect it small, it's still huge to me, though.
Yeah.
It's huge to me.
You know what I've always wondered, too, being from Tupelo and having been by that birthplace and in it so many times, that if you couldn't take the entire inside area of the birthplace and put it in that living room right there. Wow. I mean, I imagine the dimensions are pretty comparable to that house that he was born in and grew up in Tupelo and spent time in. For you to come back here, when the fans get a chance to talk to you about Graceland, is there anything special they always want to know about the house, or just about you?
Just quickly pause that. Let me just quickly read your replies. I've got to sort Tino out in a sec, but it'll only take a second. So you say yes, Elizabeth. Lisa and Elvis's private sanctuary, I think it should be kept private. So that's Linda. Emily, definitely yes. Lorna, yes. Cherie, yes. Louis, nothing else in life was ever kept that way. I hope Riley doesn't do that. Yeah, it's only a rumor, guys. I don't know. I mean, don't hold me to it. I just heard a rumor. Okay, but yes, I agree. We hope not. So, Kate, welcome, Kate. I know you love it when you catch our lives. Yes, I am Hope, and it never changes. Me too, definitely. So, Helen, you did get my message. I messaged you to say we were live. So, yes, I'm glad Lisa kept it private. So, let me sort him out. And that is Josie. Hi, Josie.
Things that went on maybe outside. You know, there's all the legendary fireworks episodes that happen in the yard, and horseback riding on the hill over there. I mean, people sometimes want to turn it into Elvis was a prisoner, but really,
I do get that. I get a lot of, you know, it's too bad he couldn't go anywhere, you know, and he had to stay at Graceland. I said, wait a minute. Elvis worked very hard to be Elvis Presley. He loved being Elvis Presley. And where you and I, in our normal lives, want to see our friends, we have to go out to a restaurant or to a club or something. He had his friends and he had his family here. And he loved here. We had everything and more. So that's why as soon as we left Hollywood or he finished a movie, he was back here. This was not a prison for him. This was a...
Let me just pause it. So I love the way he says Elvis loved being Elvis Presley. We know that he did. We know Elvis loved being Elvis. But the other thing that I see in this is that Elvis gave everyone around him that was in and around Memphis a brilliant life, a lovely life, a dream life. Not just the building, obviously Graceland's and the other homes, but the, you know, mixing with celebrities, going with him on the movies sets, doing the tours with him, giving them whatever they wanted, horses, cars, motorcycles, money, you name it. So whenever I hear anybody moaning about their life with Elvis, it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. Elvis was so good to these people, so good to them. The Lamar Fike interviews just drive me mad. They're just so cruel and unfair. Now with Jerry, I don't really think Jerry has ever been that negative with Elvis. I think he's said a few things about Priscilla where he fully supports Priscilla. He feels sorry for what she went through. I hear a bit of that. I wish that he was more fair in his views. I wish he was more like, hang on a minute, Priscilla was unfaithful. Yeah, a bit of that. Priscilla could be difficult. I'd like to hear a bit more of that. Because at the moment, when he talks about Elvis and Priscilla, their relationship, he does tend to blame Elvis, which I don't think is fair. But anyway, let's just watch the ending of this. I'll grab my cup of tea.
To be Elvis Presley. He loved being Elvis Presley. And where you and I, in our normal lives, want to see our friends, we have to go out to a restaurant or to a club or something. He had his friends and he had his family here. And he loved here. We had everything and more. So that's why as soon as we left Hollywood or he finished a movie, he was back here. This was not a prison for him. This was more of a heaven for him.
Yeah.
It's a stairway to heaven.
We should write a song.
I tell you.
On that football field when you were a kid and walking through that door right there, your life changed.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Jared, for being here. I say, what do you say we go over to the TV, we watch a little Johnny Carson, and then we head out to the movie.
What do you want to see?
Patton and maybe a Clint Eastwood movie.
So, a cute little interview. I think we'll cover a few more things from Graceland's. But this gentleman, let me just get his name. I always forget his name. He seems like a great guy, this guy. They've obviously got their own YouTube thing called Graceland. Most of you are going to know it. We're not allowed to just play them, but we can review them. Yeah, that's the good thing about YouTube. We can review these things. Obviously, let me just see if his name. Tell me his name, guys. Let me just see if it says. I always forget his name. Tom Brown. Tom Brown. Is that correct, guys? Right. So let me just. I'm going to read your comments. We've got a few things to go through, guys. Let's have a look. I want to carry on reading your replies about Elvis's, about the upstairs being kept private. Where are we? Hi, Tonya. Let's have a look. Right, Helen says, no, it should be kept private. Elvis would have disliked people intruding in his bedroom. Definitely. Priscilla Shaw always wanted to be seen. That's Elizabeth. Yeah, so we definitely, Linda, we definitely hope that Linda's words, I hope Riley doesn't open it to the public. I think that's an invasion of privacy. I agree. Jean, it was her private sanctuary. Songbird, sensitive upstairs. We have photos. People should respect her wishes. I agree. When you say her wishes, Lisa's wishes, yeah? Right, okay, let's keep going. Right, let's have a look. I personally think Lisa Marie would have wanted Riley to keep it private. Yeah, I think that. Just my view, yeah? I doubt if Riley would. She knows her mother kept it private. Hopefully she follows what her mother wanted. Otherwise, it won't go well with a lot of fans. I agree with that. So obviously Riley does want to bring a twist to Graceland and make it more modern. Yeah, we know that from the Christmas shows that she did. I just hope Riley does the right thing. Obviously, she's a different age group, different generation. She will see things from a different point of view. But I'm hoping it stays private. That's what I'm hoping. Let's have a look. The upstairs was a safe haven. His time out, it shouldn't be changed. So that's Emily. Thank you, Emily. So I'm glad that she done that for him or herself. But now that she has passed, I think it could be personal for the fans. We have already seen some pictures. Plus, we could see her bedroom as well. That's Tonya. Cherie, Emily, me too. It needs to be kept the same as Elvis wanted so much. It was his only area of privacy. Thank you, Cherie. Kate obviously does. I don't think that the structure of Graceland would take the weight of everyone walking around the upstairs. So I have. All right, I didn't know that, Helen. That's interesting. Yes, it was me. I would keep it private. This is Karen. It's respectful to Elvis's memory. I agree. Thanks, Karen. So, Elizabeth, yeah, Elvis would have, she thinks Elvis would have wanted it to be kept private. I agree. Gracelands would already have a lot of wear and tear over the years. And imagine if they let thousands of people upstairs, it would wreck it. Good point, Josie. Right. So where are we? Yeah, I mean, come on, Emily. Jerry Schilling, when he was younger, was a good-looking guy, wasn't he? Yeah? As much as we love Elvis, we do need to see where he spent his last moments, bedroom, bathroom. It should be kept private. Yeah, we don't need to see, yeah. Let's remember and honor Elvis's music and the amazing talent. Oh, we do that. We definitely do that, and we defend him. We love honoring him and defending him. Do you know what's funny? Because the more we do defending Elvis, the more I realize there's not many people defending him. Seriously, this is what I used to have the impression there were loads of people, I'm on about YouTube channels, yeah? I used to think there were loads of YouTube channels defending Elvis. I'm starting to realize now there actually isn't that many, yeah? Which isn't good, I don't think. I think the more that defend him, the better, yeah? So let's have a look. Obviously, the fans massively defend Elvis. The fans, I think there's millions of fans that defend Elvis, the fans, but they don't have a voice other than through comments. Have you noticed that, guys? The only way you can defend Elvis if you're a fan is if you go onto YouTube or the different, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, those kind of sites, and and voice your concerns. So for you guys to have a voice to defend Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline, you don't have that much opportunity to defend. It's only through things like what we do. And there isn't many. Obviously, we know Shauna does it. We know Rhonda does it. We know Hidden Minds does it. Rare Elvis Photos does it. But where else can you guys voice your concerns? How you want to defend Elvis? There's loads of Facebook pages, of course. It's tough, isn't it, guys? It's tough because you're not seeing Elvis being defended on TV or on the news or the giant channels. They don't defend Elvis. They tend to slate him. They'll talk about how great the music is and his talent, but then they'll bring up the negative stuff. Oh, he had an amazing career, but then they bring up the drugs, the eating, the unfaithfulness. So it's just so wrong, isn't it, guys? It's so wrong that you, the fans around the world, can't properly defend Elvis. I find that a shame. Obviously, the book From Here to the Great Unknown was a massive opportunity. Lisa's book that Riley finished was a massive opportunity to help defend Elvis, and it's been forgotten. It has been forgotten. This book isn't being talked about. A few of us bring it up, and we demand justice for Lisa Marie because of the alleged abuse from Michael Edwards. But really, this book, only months after it was released, has almost been forgotten. Honestly, guys, it has. It's a shame. It's a real shame that things, I would say in some ways, Michael Edwards and Priscilla have got away with murder, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes. So, right. I think Lisa allowed Austin Butler upstairs. She wanted to share with him. Yeah, I've heard that. And we know that Lisa was very fond of Austin, thought he did a great job, really thought that he showed Elvis's true essence, and that Austin had somehow managed a connection to Elvis, some kind of, I can't put it into words really, but I know that he was left there for the day, wasn't he, Austin, just to walk around the grounds and try and connect with everything Elvis. I do think Austin did it from the heart and loved and put everything into it. We know that he practiced for years before the making of the film just to get the role of Elvis. So we spoke about my views on the Baz Luhrmann film. I have very complicated views on the film, but I am a fan of Austin. I like Austin Butler. I like him. I think he did do it from the heart. I think he was very genuine. And I know that the connection and the friendship he had with Lisa was very real. So I understand that she took him upstairs. I get that. But I do have many things in the film that I don't like. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of Baz Luhrmann either. I just think he's too close with Lisa. I'm sorry, with Priscilla. He's too interested in keeping Priscilla happy. That bothers me. He's a nice enough guy. I just think, like many people, like the Netflix documentary, even the BBC, when they were voting the #1 song, Suspicious Minds, why do they have to connect to Priscilla? Why does Priscilla have to be in the mix? A woman that left Elvis in 1972. Yeah, it just makes no sense. Just doesn't add up that all these people feel they need Priscilla to justify or to, how can I say it, to give credibility to their work, whether it be a documentary or a movie or an interview. It doesn't matter what it is, does it? I just think that is a mistake. And I think Baz Luhrmann makes that mistake, trying to keep Priscilla happy. So we need a film that's made that is not trying to win Priscilla over. Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah, we need an honest documentary, an honest film, an honest interview. I don't think we've ever seen an interview from Priscilla. In fact, I know we haven't. We have never seen an interview from Priscilla that is just warts and all. Right, here we go. I'm going to tell you everything. I'm going to spill the beans. I'm going to talk about my affairs. I'm going to talk about the money, the financial stuff. I'm going to talk about Lisa Marie and the problems that we had with Elvis Presley Enterprises. Yeah, there's never been a warts and all interview with Priscilla ever. The ones that were done in the late 70s and the 80s, that was all lies, the truth twisted to create a new narrative, to win the public over, to make her look like a victim, to make Elvis look like the bad guy. That isn't warts and all truth. We want truth, don't we, guys? Why do we defend Elvis? Because we want the truth. Why do we expose Priscilla's wrongdoing? Because we want the truth out. It's not because we're nasty or hateful or Priscilla haters. I've had, just recently, we've got a couple of people that are on my YouTube channel. You know, these seem like nice people, but they're obviously Priscilla fans. So they're saying to me on the channel, shall I see if I can find the comment? They're saying to me, oh, you know, you obviously hate Priscilla. I will never understand why you hate her. Now, I don't hate her. I have no hate in me, but I definitely am very upset with her, and I definitely want to expose her wrongdoing massively. Yeah, she's definitely the person that's damaged Elvis the most, 100%, in so many different ways, hundreds of different ways. Yeah, I don't hate her. We're not a hate channel. But so this person who seems very nice, let me see if I can find one of her comments. I have not deleted her comments because I think she has the right to say to us how she feels. Right, let me just see if I can. So this is called she's called, no offense, if you're watching me, she's called Music, Heart and Soul. Music, Heart and Soul. And I'm saying this to you in a respectful way, okay? Because I think people have the right to decide if they want to support Priscilla, yeah? Now, what I said to her, I'm not sure if the actual comment's going to come up. What I said to her, she's basically said, look, I don't know why you're being so nasty to Priscilla. Obviously, Elvis must have loved her because they got married and they had a child. Now, I need to help this YouTuber understand, for me to reply to a comment like that, the most common thing that is said by a Priscilla fan is, well, of course, Elvis loved her because he married her and had a child with her. So she was the only woman he married. This is what they say over and over again. And they use that to tell us off, to say to us, you're wrong. You shouldn't hate Priscilla because Elvis loved her. Elvis chose her. Elvis had a baby with her. Elvis married her. Elvis lived with her. Yeah. Well, that's not good enough, because if you break down what went on from 1966 to the day she went running down the road with Lisa Marie and lived with a complete stranger, Mike Stone, you know, for Lisa Marie, he was a stranger. Yeah. Then you go, well, hang on a minute. He was forced to marry her. He didn't want to marry her. He was pressured into marrying her. He reluctantly married her. Then you go, oh, she was unfaithful just after Lisa was born. Oh, then you go and look how she treated him in the divorce settlements, two divorce settlements. So then these people that are using the excuse that, oh, they got married, oh, they got engaged, oh, they had a baby, to tell us off and say that we're haters, I say to them, this is what I said to this person, please can you do more research? It's one of my most common answers. When I get a Priscilla fan, let me see if I don't know if I can find the comment. When I get a Priscilla fan basically telling us off for being Elvis defenders, Lisa defenders, I always say to them, can you just do some more research? And then they tell me off for saying that. Then I'll say to them, well, can you at least watch our live streams? Because I think if you watch our live streams, you will get a good feel for how we defend, why we defend. Honestly, if you're a brand new person to our channel, yeah, if you're a brand new person to our channel and you watch our live streams, you watch 5 or 6 of our live streams, you'll get a good feel for how we defend, why we defend. Yeah, so let me just see if I can see her comment. The problem is that when I click on her name, the comment disappears. So I don't know if she's gone. Now, no offense to this person. She's very polite. She's very friendly. I can tell she's a Christian. I have no offense to her, but she cannot understand why we defend. And this keeps coming up. People keep trying to say to us, why does she need defending? Why does she need defending? Yeah, it's not coming up. I'm clicking on her name, but the comments aren't there anymore. So, but anyway, you get the drift. So if you're watching us now, Music, Heart and Soul, I just say this to you with love, in a kind way. Please do more research. Please try and understand why we defend. Please watch our live streams, because a lot of work goes into the live streams. And you'll get a feeling for why we defend. Now, this is a perfect time for me to play a video that I made this morning. Now, we know Barbara Lee, yeah? She, a beautiful actress that was seeing Elvis for a while. It was just a brief time that she spent with him. Now, I found her interview and I thought, what a beautiful interview. The way that she talks about Elvis is just lovely. It's just really beautiful. So I wanted to play it. Now, obviously, I'm trying to keep YouTube happy. So the way I'm posting these videos is I'm breaking them down. I'm having my comments. I'm playing part of the video. I've edited it a bit because I don't want YouTube getting angry with me for posting the vintage stuff. I do have to make it different, alter it a bit, and put my spin on it to keep YouTube happy. I always tell you about this, guys, because I want us all to know how we do things here. Okay? Now, this interview is one of the most... I think this is one of the most beautiful interviews I've heard about Elvis, because the way she speaks to him is so... She speaks to him in such an articulate way, in such a beautiful way that she doesn't miss a thing. She says every good point about Elvis, everything. Now, you do have to watch the whole thing to really... there's a little surprise ending at the end that shows her at the beginning of her career. So bear with me. It's not that long, but let's watch it together. Okay, guys? We are going to sort of play it twice so that you can see the ending. So we have me interrupting, and then you have the actual interview, which is only about 2.5 minutes long. And then you have a little surprise ending. Okay, guys? It's Louis at Defending Elvis Presley. Find us on YouTube. We defend Elvis Presley every day, and the bloodline. We defend Lisa Marie Presley. This is a real treat for you. We have Barbara Lee talking in a real special way about Elvis, the real man. And you really do get a feeling of Elvis Presley, the human being, from her beautiful words and how she talks about Elvis Presley. I love this. I think you're going to really enjoy it, guys. Let's listen together with Team Elvis. Hope you enjoy this, guys.
The first meeting was in the dressing room with a lot of people around, and he had a table that was kind of centered in the center of the room, and I was sitting at this table talking to Chris Nelson, Ricky Nelson's wife, and I felt the presence, and I kind of turned around, and there he was sitting and staring me in the eyes, and he complimented me, and then he asked me if I'd like to come back and see his show, and I said, of course. So he handed me under the table a little pad and pencil, skinny little pencil. He was all prepared. We went in for what I thought was one night because I had plans for the weekend. But when I got there, my plans changed. Elvis talked me into staying for the whole weekend. We did become romantic. Who wouldn't, right? He was just gorgeous. That's when he was thin, and he was beautiful and handsome, and he had, like you say, he was very spiritual and charisma. He was the king, you know. He was sexy, great kisser. Elvis had a soul, and it just came out in his performances and his singing and in his everyday life. The way he dealt with people. He was the most giving, kindest person that I've ever known. He bought me a car, Mercedes. His timing is everything. I happened to be around when he was buying Mercedes, and so I got one. He bought me guns and jewelry and things like that, clothes. He had a great sense of humor, and he liked to joke all the time, make fun. It was a lot of fun. One funny experience that I had with him was I brought a girlfriend to see him, to meet him in Palm Springs. And when I walked in the door, he was there, and I thought, he looks different, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And he started doing his karate exhibit. He put on his gi with the guys, with Charlie, and he was doing, really getting into it. And this wig went flying off, and everybody just stopped because no one knew how to handle it quite. They didn't want to laugh until he laughed. And he basically laughed, picked it up, put it back on his head, and then everybody laughed, and he just continued with the exhibition. He was magic. Everything about him was magic. When he was performing, he gave everything to the audience. And I think that people identified with his soul and the tenderness and the loving part of him. He was a true gentleman, Southern gentleman.
Barbara really does talk about Elvis in a lovely way that just shows you how special that Elvis Presley was, how kind and loving and generous, the true man. This is why we defend Elvis Presley. Barbara Lee, beautiful words.
The first meeting was in the dressing room with a lot of people around, and he had a table that was kind of centered in the center of the room, and I was sitting at this table talking to Chris Nelson, Ricky Nelson's wife, and I felt the presence, and I kind of turned around, and there he was sitting and staring me in the eyes, and he complimented me, and then he asked me if I'd like to come back and see his show, and I said, of course. So he handed me under the table a little pad and pencil, skinny little pencil. He was all prepared. I went in just for what I thought was one night because I had plans for the weekend. But when I got there, my plans changed. Elvis talked me into staying for the whole weekend. We did become romantic. Who wouldn't, right? He was just gorgeous. That's when he was thin, and he was beautiful and handsome, and he had his, like you say, he was very spiritual and charisma. He was the king, He was sexy, great kisser. Elvis had a soul, and it just came out in his performances and his singing and in his everyday life. The way he dealt with people. He was the most giving, kindest person that I've ever known. So he bought me a car, Mercedes. His timing is everything. I happened to be around when he was buying Mercedes, and I got one. He bought me guns and jewelry and things like that, clothes. He had a great sense of humor, and he liked to joke all the time, make fun. It was a lot of fun. One funny experience that I had with him was I brought a girlfriend to see him, to meet him in Palm Springs. And when I walked in the door, he was there, and I thought, he looks different, but I couldn't put my finger on it. And he started doing his karate exhibit. He put on his gi with the guys, with Charlie, and he was doing, really getting into it, and this wig went flying off. And everybody just stopped because no one knew how to handle it quite. They didn't want to laugh until he laughed. And he basically laughed, picked it up, put it back on his head, and then everybody laughed, and he just continued with the exhibition. He was magic. Everything about him was magic. When he was performing, he gave everything to the audience. And I think that people identified with his soul and the tenderness and the loving part of him. He was a true gentleman, Southern gentleman.
Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I thought it was fascinating. But find us on YouTube, Defending Elvis Presley. Come and join our live streams. We're doing 2 or 3 live streams a day, defending Elvis Presley and the bloodline. You take care, guys. Thanks to all of you, and Happy New Year.
Maybe it was comforting. It was exciting is a better word, I think.
Yeah.
Stimulating. I enjoyed it.
You've done a lot of television.
Yes. And you come originally from Georgia. Georgia. Did you have to work hard to get rid of a Georgia accent? Well, not really, because I never grew up in Georgia. I was raised in Florida. And even though Florida is the deep South, most of the people who live there are really not Southern, you know.
So I wanted to, let me just press close on that. I wanted to throw in that ending because she was a beautiful girl, guys. You know, you see her at the end there, and she's a stunning girl. Like, I'm so not surprised that Elvis found her beautiful and was attracted to her. She comes across decent, good-hearted, very fair in her comments about Elvis. I can honestly say that I think if you watch that, the reason I played it twice, if you really listen to that interview properly, yeah, you concentrate on it, she covers everything. She covers everything about Elvis, the human being, the man's heart, the good, decent man, the loving, caring, charming, funny. You name it, it's there. All of it. Generous. Doesn't matter what it is, she hits the nail on the head. It's one of the nicest, cutest interviews from a very beautiful woman. A very beautiful woman. I just really liked it. It's one of my favorite videos that I've watched. Right. So Renee's with us. Hi, Renee from Hidden Minds. Just going to read some of your comments. So what we're going to do in a second, guys, we are going to do some of the quiz for Ayisa. Ayisa, are you still there? So, yeah, you guys are talking a lot about BBC Two yesterday. Amazing. BBC Two, thank you. You really looked after the Elvis fans. Thank you so much. Many, many of you were on watching BBC Two yesterday. You committed your days to BBC Two. I don't blame you. All right, Lorna's gone. And see you later, Lorna. I'll never understand Prissy fans still loving her after what Lisa said about her mother and Edwards in the book. Yeah, Josie. This book should be enough to open the eyes, to remove the blinkers of the people that don't know the truth. So, yeah. So Elvis married her because he promised her stepfather that he would. Elvis was a man of his word. He sure was, 100%. Ayisa, why can't you see me? What's going on? Let's have a look. Fans still believe in the fairy tale. Maybe they should listen to Elvis's song Fairy Tale more often. It's brainwashing, isn't it, Josie? It's brainwashing. If you are spoon-fed lies for 40 years, it becomes part of you. It becomes part of you. You almost are irritated when you hear the truth because you're so used to, you're so set in your ways, you're so used to having those beliefs that Elvis was an addict, Elvis binged on burgers, Elvis was a controller, a groomer, a paedophile. You're so used to the bullshit, the lies, that when people come along and tell you the truth, all of the serious wrongdoing from Priscilla, yeah, that Priscilla was the abuser, Elvis was the victim. When you start hearing the truth, you don't want to hear it because you're so transfixed with this lie, these lies that have been told in this book, the interviews that Priscilla has done again and again and again and again, especially the early interviews from the 80s with Priscilla, where she really does paint Elvis out to be this monster, yeah, that the Priscilla fans have become Priscilla fans. They're not Elvis fans in the same way anymore. They still love Elvis. They still like Elvis. They still think Elvis is amazing, beautiful, talented. But it's chalk and cheese. Because they'll go, oh, you know, he was so gifted, so talented. He was so handsome, so funny, charming. But, you know, what a shame. Everything went wrong in the end because he was an addict. He kept being unfaithful to Priscilla. Yeah? Oh, he was a bit of a groomer. Yeah? They take the good with the bad, but the bad is a lie. This is the problem. This is why we defend Elvis Presley. The bad is a lie. Priscilla was the unfaithful one. That's the truth of it. She broke up the marriage. I don't care what anyone says. Elvis from 66 in December was faithful and loyal. He got married. He fulfilled his promises. He got married. They had a baby. Priscilla was unfaithful. That's what wrecked the marriage. Priscilla was unfaithful. Marriage over. After that, Elvis went back to his old ways. So the people don't want to hear it. The people don't want to hear that there's a possibility that this fairy tale marriage. I always show this picture. The brainwashed public are brainwashed by an image in their minds. The brainwashed public. They see that image. Priscilla and Elvis, the perfect couple that met in Germany, that fell in love and then married, and then it all went wrong because it was Elvis's fault. They see that. You can't get them outside of that box. So then they try and make excuses. Oh no, he must have loved her. They got married. They had a baby. She was the only woman he married. No, it's a complicated story, guys. You have to learn everything. You have to understand. There's a lot more to the story. There's a lot more to it. Many of us here have done a lot of research, so we understand, don't we? We understand that every year from 59 to the day Priscilla left, which was early 72, I think. Remember, Priscilla chose to leave. Priscilla decided to leave and take Lisa. When people understand, and you have to go month by month, to the people that are watching me now that are Priscilla fans, that think that Elvis don't need defending, you have to understand it. You have to break it all down. Break it down. Month by month, this happened, that happened, this happened to Elvis. Priscilla did this, Priscilla did that. This man was involved, that man was involved. Money here, money there. Get it? Then you get an understanding that Elvis has been mistreated, unfairly treated. For me, it's easy to defend Elvis. I find it easy to defend Elvis and Lisa. The reason I find it easy is because there's so many things. There are so many things I can bring up to defend Elvis and his bloodline. So many things. So many, like, not just with other men or with women or with drugs or with money or with Elvis Presley enterprises. It's just, the topics are endless. The mistreatment of Elvis. Even if we bring up the books, we bring up the movies, we bring up the horrible interviews, we bring up the crap biographies and documentaries that are completely wrong. If I bring up a documentary on YouTube that is 20 years ago, it is disgusting. It will say the good stuff, or, you know, rags to riches, talented man. It says all the good stuff, Christian man, all that, good upbringing. But then it rips into him. But this, but that. Never blaming Priscilla. Never blaming Priscilla. Always everything is Elvis's fault. Priscilla has done no wrong as far as the public press, tabloids, magazines. We're in the modern day now, internet. Priscilla never admits wrongdoing. Never, ever. Yeah? So it's easy to defend Elvis. It's not easy to change a Priscilla fan to change their mind. It's not. It's very difficult. We will get, I know that when I get someone come onto my YouTube channel, we get hundreds of comments every day. Yeah. Some of them are Priscilla fans. I don't hate Priscilla fans, by the way. I have nothing against Priscilla fans. It's an opportunity for me to change their mind. Priscilla fans, if any of you are watching me now, I'm not against people that are Priscilla fans. But if you join my channel that is called Defending Elvis Presley, this is what I said to that YouTuber. Hang on a minute. We are called Defending Elvis Presley. So you've joined a channel that's called Defending Elvis Presley. One of the main things we do is we defend Elvis against the wrongdoing from Priscilla Presley. But you've joined our channel and you're giving us comments telling us off for defending Elvis against Priscilla's wrongdoing. Well, why did you join our channel? Yeah. If someone wants to join our channel we're called Defending Elvis. So we're going to bring up the wrongdoing of many things. Priscilla, the Memphis Mafia, Dr. Nick, Colonel Tom Parker, you name it, we will bring up the wrongdoing. Yeah. Badly made films, badly made books. You got it. Yeah. Now, if you want to join our channel, Defending Elvis Presley, it's called Defending Elvis Presley. Fans Want the Truth. It's called Fans Want the Truth for a specific reason. We expose truth. We're not haters. We're truth tellers. Team Elvis, truth tellers. That's what we do. There's no hate. You won't hear me name calling. Yeah. So what I say to the YouTubers that join our YouTube channel and they try and defend Priscilla is you must do your research. You must watch our live streams. You must understand why we passionately defend Elvis. Everybody here right now know why we defend Elvis. We know together here, Team Elvis. Some of you have done a lot of research. Yeah, some of you really know your stuff. Some of you, I learned from a lot of you. Yeah, there's some of you here that know a lot more than me. Know a lot more than me. I'm still learning, guys. I make mistakes. I get things wrong. Guys, if I ever say things wrong, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert. I'm learning. I feel like a young man. I feel like I'm 20 years old learning. That's how I feel as an Elvis fan. I definitely don't know enough. I need to know more. Yeah. Now, my point is this. They join our channel. They tell us off, call us names, call us haters, but they haven't taken the time to do the research to understand why we defend. So this is my message to the Priscilla fans. Please join us and we will do our best with Team Elvis and myself to make you understand why we defend Elvis. Why we defend Elvis, yeah? Don't just join us and call us names. If you're going to just call us names, that isn't fair. We won't call you names, okay? So I don't hate Priscilla. I don't hate Priscilla fans. I want you to learn the truth. That's what I want. Right, let's start reading some of your comments. Just a suggestion, Louis. Maybe you can make one video that covers things on why you do what you do, sort of overview, and the things that you with Team Elvis have discovered from Priscilla. Yeah, believe it or not, I have done that. Renee, do you know, just so you know, Renee, I've watched your last 3 or 4 videos. They are so good. Your last 3 or 4 videos, Renee at Hidden Minds, brilliant. Wow. And Renee now has got 31,000 subscribers. Amazing. I told him about a month ago, Renee, you're going to go way past us. I think we've got 28,000 here. I said to Renee back then, you're going to go way past what we've got. Renee's channel is fantastic. But I like to think, Hidden Minds, Renee, that I sort of say it every time, almost every live stream I do. I try and explain why we defend. I try and tell people. So Renee's words are, cover things on why you do what you do, sort of overview, and things with Team Elvis that has discovered about Priscilla. I think, do you know what? I think I do it nearly every day. Honestly, you go back through our live streams over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I think we try and tell people why we defend almost every day. So, but yeah, I could make a specific one and even name it, what we do. Come on, we get a lot of messages. Why do you defend? Why do you defend? Elvis doesn't need defending. Come on. God, I hear it all the time. To anybody that thinks Elvis doesn't need defending, Lisa doesn't need defending, please do some research. I'll keep it that simple. Please do some more research. Right, Riley seems lovely, but letting fans up to the sacred second level is a step too far. When Elvis said he never wanted others there, please respect. Elvis wishes the Lord didn't have many in his life. Karen, the lady last night on the Tale of Rock and Roll that wrote the song Heartbreak Hotel, Elvis spoke so highly of Elvis and how much she loved him and how kind he was. Oh, I love that. I haven't watched that yet, Karen. I'd like to. Yes, so Helen is Elvis's sacred level, definitely. I've got to whiz through a bit because I'm going to have to go in a minute, guys. I'm going to just try and finish off a bit more. I've got something else I was going to show you. We are going to have to come back for the quiz, but it doesn't matter because a lot of you in America are still asleep. So if you guys are waking up later in America, good morning. Obviously, we get a lot of people here all over the world. Many of you are in the UK and Australia, Canada, and many other countries. Welcome. Good morning. Hope you had a good sleep. You can watch us on the replay. Right, so. Helen, yes, my poor heart seeing Elvis in black leather. How could Priscilla give that up? It's like going from a Porsche to a three-wheel Robin Reliant. Helen, do they know what a Robin Reliant is in America? So, yeah, I haven't watched all of the stuff that was on yesterday. I watched a few things, though. Me and the kids definitely watched Blue Hawaii. Right, let's just get... So it just jumped up on the comments. Priscilla is the queen of victimhood when it comes to Elvis and plays that card very well. Do you know what? Her fans support her in this. Yeah. She's got away with murder, hasn't she? Priscilla has got away with murder. There's so many things that have happened and she just carries on. Big smile on her face. Carries on as if nothing happened. She carries on as if nothing happened. I don't understand it. This is proper brainwashing, guys. Did Elvis and Priscilla really split up when she was pregnant? If they did, maybe she was unfaithful earlier than she admits. I do not know. I am just, yeah, Tonya, I actually think that's very possible. I actually think if that did happen, because I personally don't think Elvis would ever split up from his pregnant married wife, because he was a Christian man. He believed in doing the right thing. And Elvis actually, when everything came out, was trying not to divorce. Elvis didn't believe in divorce. So you could be right, Tonya. You could be right. I don't think we know the truth. I think this little thing that is repeated again and again, that Elvis left me when I was pregnant, is a lie. I think it's bullshit. It's in Priscilla's film, isn't it, guys? We're not being told the whole story. We're being told half the story, in my opinion. Yeah, Josie, you know that I don't believe that book. Literally, and I know you keep hearing me say it, I think you could break down every sentence in this book, every sentence, and dispute it. Dispute it. This is the biggest con in history. Look at it falling apart. This is the biggest con in history. It's the most successful con in history. This is. It conned everyone. It brainwashed everyone, not just the people, not just the public, the interviewers, the TV companies, the news companies, the filmmakers, the documentary makers, the biography makers, the TV dramas, TV melodramas. Everyone was tricked by this book. And the funny thing is, the most recent film, Priscilla, by Sofia Coppola, followed the storyline of that book. So this is a very successful con. It's only the Elvis fans that know different. Hello, mate. You gonna say hello? Right, guys, we've gone over an hour, so I'm going to have to go now. I'm going to come back. Yeah, I'm going to make him some dinner. I'm going to spend some time with the kids. So, hi, kids. So I'm going to have to go.
Daddy, can we have one more squishy?
I'll see you later, kids.
Dad, can we have one more squishy?